All right. So, if you are here to hear about, what is it? What are we doing today? We're elevating our awareness. Elevating our awareness. And as Jody's talked about elevators, I'll have a little thing about that too. But it's really about how do you live your spiritual life? How do you live your spiritual life? Are you awake? Are you sometimes awake? Are you zoning out? Or you just don't even think about it? I'll tell you what. Okay, everybody raise their hand. Hey, raise your hand, because we all do it all the time.
Yeah.
We do it all the time. It doesn't matter where how perfect you think you are. Entrapment. That's true. That's true. Well, I got you then. But living a spiritual life is like being on an elevator, right? We go through these things like whether we're going up or we're going down or we're standing still. It's just like an elevator. So I have a question for you. How many of you have stepped on an elevator, whether you're on the 5th floor or the 1st floor, you're either going up or you're going down, and it goes to every single floor?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about you, but I don't like that. And it's like, I'm in a hurry. I got there just in time. I'm supposed to be here at a certain time, and I can't be late. I've done that with PT lately, and it's like, can't do that. Because they are on a schedule, right? The thing about this is the truth is when we get up and down and wherever we are, is we're on a journey. We're really on a journey. And so every level, or up or down, or not going, is meant to be. I like the analogy of also going through stoplights.
Ah.
Yeah. You know, it's like, I'm going down Mission Gorge. Yeah. And I'm like, come on, God, I got to get over there. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, maybe you don't have to get there because maybe something else has happened there.
Yeah.
And that happens often. Or I go all green. All green. And then I'm like, thank you, God. In fact, somebody said, who are you really thanking? I'm thanking the universe and my own ability to flow into the universe with that. You know what I mean? So, something for you to think about. Anyway, the analogy is our spiritual lives are like that. Sometimes things go well. Sometimes we have to pause. How many people paused this week? I've been doing a lot of pausing. A lot of pausing. And sometimes we feel like we're not doing well. Today, this morning, before coming here, I'll be real honest with you, my puppy's not doing well. She's not. And she was, and that's hard, because if you have an animal, you know what that means, that they're uncomfortable. And they can't, I wish she could just speak to me and say, here's where it hurts, Mom, fix that. But I'm guessing. And I'm seeing a vet and I'm doing all the right things. But it's like, okay. So part of this talk is about me being more aware of her. Me being more aware of what's really going on. And so together we're trying to communicate. And I ended up giving her something, and I'm hoping by the time I get home it will make her feel better. But anyway, we just breathe through that, right? We breathe through that. Breathe through that. Daniel Morgan, from his book Guidance for a Spiritual Journey, says, it is encouraging to realize that our very nature is such as to keep us growing, and also to provide the instrument through which that growth is accomplished. Made in the image and likeness of the One Presence, we cannot accept stagnation. We protest against it. Spiritual realization is an unfoldment eminently deeper than intellectual accomplishments. It is such a unifying of the self with the divine that we are conscious of an all-satisfying oneness. What I really got out of this was that we do not stay stagnant. We're always moving. Even as I talk about my dog, I'm always going, what is it? What is it? What is that thing that will make her feel better? Is it me touching her? Is it me giving her water? Is it, and I could go on and on and on. I'm always looking. Or a project. How many people had a project this week? And you're always looking, what's the next thing that's in that project? Where's the next place for me to go? So rather than worrying about it, just know that's what's going on. There's that feeling. You know what that feeling is? You do a lot of creation, and you're always going, okay, what's the next one going to look like? And they're all different, correct? Yeah, a lot of different things. So just realize you're being pushed forward a little bit, and that you're being turned towards the thing that lights you up, towards the thing that makes you feel better. And we have a choice on the way. We can resist, we can pause, but we can never be stopped by pulling, as Spirit's pulling us. And a little trick that I do, when I'm in a place where I just can't figure out how to do something, I go do something else. I never stay there because I'm frustrating myself. So instead, I change the direction or the pace or the whatever, and I move doing that. And by the time I get back, it's like I found the solution. It just comes. So if you're having that kind of thing going on, just try that one. Deepak Chopra says this. He says, the awakening is not changing who you are, but discarding who you are not. Our awakening is saying, here's who we are, here's what I want you to be. Go for it. Don't be afraid of it. So I have 3 different, what I call movements of consciousness that brings the awareness to us. But the first one sounds kind of like, how did you get that one? There's 3 of them. God's calling, I hear it. He's on your,
Sorry.
no, it's okay, it's on your watch, so tell him we're busy. And the first one is, do you have blinders on?
Sorry about that.
That's okay. We'll just keep moving. I love you anyway, Steve. It's okay. So do we have blinders on? Or are we being nudged? Are we hearing the call to move and go for it? Where are you? Where are you? Now, when I talk about blinders, I don't know about you. I know we have horse people here. But I think everybody knows this, but if you put blinders on a horse, where does it go? Straight. Straight forward. It doesn't go right, it doesn't go left. It can only go that way unless you pull the rein, and it goes that way. So, guess what? That's what Spirit does to us. What it does is it narrows our vision. It narrows our vision so we can focus in one area. Now, how many people think that's bad? Oh, come on. It is. It feels awkward, doesn't it? I can only do this. I can only do that. I can only do that. But the truth is that, and I'll explain this a little bit more, as we go through a process, the blinders eventually go like this because it gives a better perspective. It doesn't stay this way, but, and I'll give you a story so you can see how that works. Martin Luther King Jr. said this. He said, faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. It's believing in something greater. We live in, and then Ernst Holmes says, we live in the continuity of discover of spirit. Awareness is the beginning of healing. So, maybe half of you are new here. When I started, I'm not going to give you my story, but I will just say that many years ago, over 20 years ago, maybe even longer than that, when I was coming to religious science, I didn't know a thing about it. I had no idea. I didn't know they talked about principles. All I heard was, go read Ernest Holmes, which is very difficult when you don't know much of anything, right? You have to read for the glimmers, and pretty soon the glimmers start to make sense. But the one thing I did know is that I needed to figure what happened to me and how I was going to get through it. So I did what I call test the principles. I tested everything somebody told me. I really wanted to know if that was truthful or not. The thing that I did know is that I wasn't sure how my life was going to turn out back then. It was a complicated time. But I knew that what I was hearing and learning made sense. And it challenged my beliefs. It challenged how I thought about myself. It challenged what I had created and what I had let go of. Can you all relate to that in some way? Good. So for a couple years, I didn't trust myself. I didn't trust my ability to make a decision. I didn't trust myself of people that I met. I just knew I had this feeling when I came to the center, the church back there, it's called Religious Science back then, I was being guided. Something was saying, go back here. This feels good. Listen to this. Pay attention. And so I did that. I had a therapist. I had a practitioner. I went to classes. And I went to Sunday service. So those are 4 things that I did every single week until I figured out what was going on with me. I had a method because I thought, God, if I do this 7 days a week, I'll never understand it. I mean, it was just so overwhelming. My life was so overwhelming back then. So I came up with a method. I called it the 4-3 ratio. What that means, that 4 days of spiritual events, 3 days of practice. 3 days of practice, because every week was a new week. Every week was something new I was learning about myself, and I needed to see if this made sense in my life. So I created my own. And I've given this to nobody. I don't know if I've given this to anybody in this room, but I've suggested that because you can hear all the God stuff you want to hear, but if you don't know how to apply it, guess what? It has no meaning to you. So applying it is what makes sense. The question that I kept asking myself is, how and what do I want my life to look like now? That was 20, 25 years ago. But I was wearing blinders too. I had to wear blinders because I could only focus on one thing at a time. That's why the blinders are important. And I wrote this down. It says, I could only focus on one thing at a time. Make and understand my mistakes. Revise my actions. Try again. And eventually figure out what worked for me. Because what worked for me didn't necessarily work for them or someone else. It was my journey, nobody else's. And I put here, you might say I was doing a reset. I was resetting in my entire life back then. So I have a Science of Mind reading, which we'll do here together. And what I want to say prior to reading this is, it really sounds nice. But back 20, 25 years ago, people were saying these things to me, and I had no idea what it meant. I had no clue. I could only kind of get a few words. Today I understand what it means, but I didn't back then. So we'll read it together. It says, inherent within our being is a pull towards the expansion of our awareness. We have an innate curiosity and a drive to understand life and our connection to it. When we engage in spiritual practice in any form, we naturally expand our awareness and deepen our connection to life, which in turn enhances our consciousness and develops our spiritual acuity. Through the creative process, we continue to grow and expand. The more we reach out, the more we strive for connection. This passion becomes integrated into every aspect of who we are and how we operate. Now today I totally get all of that. But back then, when life is kind of out there, and I tell you this because I know that we all go through many series of this, is to know that no matter what it looks like, it will all come back together. It will all shift back together, but you will be changed. You will be a change agent, and you will make a difference for yourself and hopefully with other people. The one thing I did, though, and I say this to everyone here because I feel like sometimes we give up on ourselves. We give up on our dream. We give up on the direction we want to go. We give up on what our belief system is. The one thing, if you get anything out of today's talk, is I said I just kept showing up. Just kept showing up to those things and those places that support you and you feel like they really care about you. And through that support and through all that just showing up and doing maybe a 4-7, a 4-3, you will revise what it is that you want to have happen in your life. So think about that. The second point is a nudge. How many people think they got a nudge this week? Oh, good. I'm not alone. Not alone. So, you got a big nudge?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. We'll talk later. That nudge, I'm calling it, is Spirit is planting the seed within you. And maybe something you thought about, and maybe it's something that you haven't thought about, and you went, oh, I need to do that. I put here, I love this, small nudges, divine hunches, whispers of intuition, shifting through you. And the idea is, if that's given to you, one, you're supposed to do it, and two, you need to know that it's coming from something very special, a special place. That divine essence is moving through you, saying, this is what's possible. This is what's possible. Now, I'm going to give you another Science of Mind paragraph like this that kind of reinforces it. Now, there's a word in here that I'm going to have a hard time with, so I want everybody at the same time to say the word. And you'll know when I get there, okay? I've been practicing the word, but my mouth didn't want to go that way. So here it is. Ascension and the elevation of our awareness becomes a natural way of being. We become that when we pay attention. Life holds purpose and meaning that goes beyond what we can see, yet we can feel it. It is, what's the word? Palatable. Thank you. I like doing this. I'll have you do that more. We are increasingly drawn to explore the inner landscape of our spiritual calling, pursuing awakening and truth that perpetually expands. Regardless of our level on the spiritual journey, there is always room for further growth and expansion in God. We are constantly elevating our awareness as we pursue life's mission and purpose through self-discovery. Yeah, isn't that big? So those little nudges are really important. Really important. Robert Louis Stevenson says this. He says, don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds that you plant. Plant. This is really important. Within every seed, and Ernest Holmes says, within every seed is the pattern, a potential of whole. Now, I'm going to go back to the beginning. Sometimes those seeds sprout right away. And that just says, well, you're on the right track, you're moving the right way, go for it. But sometimes they stay, as we do seed soil plant here, they stay in the soil and they're hidden, and you don't know. But what you need to know is it's waiting for the right season, for everything to kind of coalesce and come together. Because we get impatient, and we expect it to be now, and it's not always now. So when it's not now, I just want you to know it's moving itself. It's working through it. And growth is happening. Nonetheless, it's happening. So I have a couple of examples that I want to give you because I think it's important to understand, how does this stuff work? How does it work? So how many people have children here? Or have had children? Okay. And for those of you who don't have children, you're the child of God, so just remember this, okay?
Fur babies.
Fur babies? You all have fur babies? Okay.
Oh, yeah. Godchildren.
Godchildren, there we go. Here it is. We'll use children as an example because that's an easy
How
one.
about twin great-granddaughter?
Okay, that works. That works. Twin great. I'm going to put you back in that seat again. No, I'm just kidding you. No problem, Steve. But sometimes we know something that they don't know, right? Got me? And because of that, carefully, I should say, carefully, we plant seeds of thoughts. Now, it's not telling them. If you tell them, what do you think they're going to do? Go the other way. But we plant seeds. So think of it as seeds of possibilities. So when you're in, and it could be with adults, it could be with anything. But the idea is that you're planting a seed, and when you plant the seed, you let it go. You let it create itself. You have no attachment to it. So that's one example. Another one, and this is one that I'm actually trying to do for Ohm. We have in the CSL family of centers over 400 locations. 400. Some of them have thousands of people, and many of them are like us, 50 to 100 people, okay? But one of the things that I think we miss as a whole community is we just think we're this little tiny pod. And so my nudge, and I've been working on this for a few months, is to have us connect on Zoom with other centers about the same size or a little bit bigger. Or maybe one of the big ones like Dallas CSL, who I actually know the minister. Because, and then we split the talk, just like we've done with the one that's local. The reason for that is because you get words from other people than just me. I mean, I may know enough, but the reason you get a variety of people here is because I don't know everything. And I don't want to be the one to know everything. I want to be the one that says, you get what you need. To me, that's so much more important. But the idea is that they do that. They see us. We split the service. They see you. And all of a sudden, now we realize we're more a bigger community. And to me, that is kind of cool. It's out of the box. I've had to plant, and I'm still planting a lot of seeds because people can't visually figure out how to do that. So I'm planting the seeds. I've put it on the listserv. I did it in a big conference call with, I think, over 100 people. I've mentioned it to CSL. The seeds, those are all called seeds of just saying, here's what I think would be really cool. I know that if I can do it, you guys need to know, I don't think you realize this, is that when I started creating this, nobody did this at Centers for Spiritual Healing. Nobody did video conferencing. We were pretty much the first. And I can tell you when we did it, it looked pretty awful, but everybody's was pretty awful, so I didn't care. But I was told by a very, very prominent minister that it didn't work. And I said back to him, you didn't try hard enough. Because I think it's important that we realize that there are processes, and again, way back then it was pretty awful. But today, we're better than 80% of the people that are doing video conferencing. And it's mainly because of the dedication of Martin and our willingness to spend a little extra money to make it better. Just a little bit. And it's not like we spent thousands of dollars. Well, we did, but it's over time. It's over time. And we got a grant for part of it. So, and it's incremental changes. Those, again, are the seeds that we're planting. So that when we have something and we're very professional looking, what do we become? We become attractive to other places, and we invite other people. That's another seed I'm planting, inviting other individuals to show up. I want to see your faces. Because when I see your face, I see your heart. And then we get to talk to each other, we get to play with each other, we get to have a fun together. And that's also there. But, so it's a combination of. All right. So the last one is hearing the call and going for it. Michael Beckwith says this. I just love Michael. He's amazing. The world we live in is the exact reflection of our awareness. Let me say it again. The world we live in is the exact reflection of our awareness. That's pretty deep. Yeah. And he says it so profoundly in such few words. So if your life doesn't look like the way you want it to, Start listening to those nudges. And I'm going to talk about the nudges in the response to your intuition. See, the thing is when we are really paying attention to the presence of God in our life, those things that felt like struggles, they start to go away. They start to become clearer. We start to go, well, what do I want out of this? And we start to feel better. But if we're, as I asked in the beginning, are you paying attention? Are you, no, I'm just going to hang out today. It's that awareness. We have to know what that awareness is. So how many people follow their intuition? Okay. Follow your intuition. Okay. 100% of the time.
No.
70% of the time. 50% of the time. 25% of the time. Good. Because that is how Spirit talks to you. Your communication is through that. Now, I'm going to tell you, I don't know how many years ago this was. I think I always think it's 2 years ago, but it's probably about 5 or 6 years ago. After I learned the word appearance, I learned the word to live my intention. Live my intuition. Not just listen. It's okay to listen. But if you live it, in other words, when that happens and you just say, oh, I believe in that, something special happens. So I'm going to give you some of the special things that have happened to me. The first one is, you'll probably laugh over this one. I learned that my intuition did not speak in paragraphs. My intuition did not give me lectures. My intuition would guide me. So it's usually just a couple words or an insight or whatever. The second thing is, as I became more and I started believing and trusting this divine, I call it a voice. It's like I hear it inside my head. I call it a special communication. I realize it has never, ever failed me. So your intuition will never, ever fail you. As I kept going, okay, I'm going to keep trying this, what I learned is that my faith in everything became stronger. I was never left out. I kept going, this just makes sense for me. I learned if there was no answer, then there was no action. So if I didn't get direction, I didn't do anything. And that saved a lot of time. And it saved a lot of anxiety because I was never trying to make something happen. It was always going, okay, it's going to unfold. I know it will unfold. Now, when I needed more information, anybody out there ever need more information? Yeah. When I needed more information, I would simply ask this: show me what it is I need to know.
Yeah.
Reveal to me what I need to know. And then I would allow what I call space, or a pregnant pause. A pregnant pause. Instead of, okay, give me the answer. Because I needed to just pause in the moment and just ask for the guidance and then allow it to come to me in a natural way. And that way, when I did that, I was honoring the divine that was moving through me, opposed to my ego going, this is the way it's going to happen. And the last thing I want to say about it is, and I call it the new me, just for reference, is that with the intuitive connection, I was guided to become a better person. And I want you to know that's what's happening with you. And I want you to trust that part of you. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm perfect, by any means. I mean, still have beliefs that I'm working on. I still have feelings about things, I won't say what it is, though. But I listen to it differently. I listen from a different point of view, or I see something, let's just say, or I hear something on the radio, I just go, oh, okay. And I just allow it to be there. I don't have to be attached to it, which to me is really, really important. And I start to trust. In fact, that class we just finished on Wednesday night, the possibilities, infinite possibilities, really opened me up to saying, okay, how does all of this work together? How does this all come together? Which is a whole different way of being than stuck in a avenue I can't get out of. And then the last thing, and this is just kind of recent, I think, is I'm not afraid of my feelings. Who's been afraid of their feelings? Yeah. So I'm not afraid of my feelings. I just feel them, know, and go, what is that? What is it that's coming up? What is it that I need to learn about that? And then the other part, we can have our feelings. Usually feelings mean we have to have an action step. And I've been doing this a little bit more. It's not easy to take the feelings and move it into an action. But I've been speaking up or acting upon something when, and I'm trying to frame this now, when I come from a place of healing and love. Now, a lot of people don't get that. They don't get that you come from that place of love. So it's a cautious place to move. But it's something I'm personally trying to learn how to do better. And I encourage you to think about that. It's okay to have your feelings. Ernest Holmes would not want you to not have your feelings. He says, we don't hide this stuff. We are authentic about that. So sometimes you got to dump it. Who's dumped their stuff on me lately? Or let's say in the last year. Raise your hands. We all have, and it's okay. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that because I'm safe. You always want to do that and be with somebody that's safe, okay? But then it's, how do we then take that and move it into healing and love? How do we move there? So while I was creating this talk, one of the things that I love to do is I love to listen to music. And so Ricky Byers was my musician yesterday. So I listened to Ricky for hours. And she always inspires me. She always gives me this feeling of, I can do it, I can say that, I can, moves me. And we all have somebody like that moves us. So intuitively I thought, and I always like to give you guys something that's a little different. It came to me, I want you to hear something and for you to embody it. But Ricky's music wasn't quite what this talk was about. So I just kept rolling, and I came with another musician who has been here. You remember Melissa and Z? Yeah. Okay. Well, before there was Melissa and Z, there was Melissa Felipe, and she has a song that I'm asking Martin to bring up, and I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, and if you so are willing, is to, when it's a chant, is that I'd like you to, if you feel like it, to chant with it if it comes to you, to do that. And he's gonna play it. It's about a 10-minute chant, but we're not doing 10. So we'll do probably about 4.5, something like that. And then I'll instruct him. Once the music lowers, keep your eyes closed and feel this, because it's all about you. It's all about you. So let's go ahead.
Who
Now just feel your body. Feel inside that divine energy to remember who you are, that it's never, never, never gone. So if you want to keep your eyes closed, you can do this. I'm just going to end with a couple things. First is, if you feel that nudge of the divine, of creativity, of doing something that you've not done before, of saying something that needs to be said, just follow it. If it comes from love, it's okay. And just know you'll be guided along the way. It's those times when your heart beats really, really hard. That's God saying, it's okay. In the coming weeks, I'd like you to just try and live your intuition, even if it's just for a day. Just to know that you see it, you feel it, you are it, and you start to believe in it, and it guides you. And my last quote is, let us take our bloated nothingness out of the path of divine circuits. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Knowing that if we get out of the way, we get more. It comes to us. It's there. It's for us. And so if you haven't closed your eyes, I invite you to close your eyes as I end this talk. Just knowing that as we are here together, we are here to remember ourselves, to remember who we are, to remember that as we lift ourselves up, we pay attention to it, we go, yes, I'm ready. It says, okay, I'm with you. And so I know that as we are here today to hear this message, it's a message of believing in ourselves and this partnership with the infinite, with the divine soul. And so for that, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for all that are here, that are listening now, whether you're on the internet, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube or in this room. I am just grateful that the divine has asked you to show up. And so for that, I just release my words, these words, all the words I've spoken today, into that infinite mind, knowing that that infinite mind is moving through each and every one of us in a greater way. It is good and very good. And join me now in saying, and so it is. Thank you very much.